My mom gave my son's birthday gift to my nephew and said, "Only well-behaved kids deserve gifts." She remembered who pays her mortgage soon after. There are moments in life when you realize you've been a fool. For me, it wasn't just a moment, it was a slow-burn realization that exploded the day my own mother, right in front of my 10-year-old son, decided he didn't deserve his birthday gift. That's when I knew things had to change, even if it meant blowing up my entire family. My name's Matthew. I'm 36, and yeah, I'm a handyman. Got the beat-up white van, the dented toolbox, and a list of clients who know I show up on time and actually finish the job. But before any of that, I'm a dad. My son, Leo, he just turned 10 last Saturday. He's all about Legos, soccer, and that little cloud of steam that fogs up his glasses when he opens a fresh pizza box. It's the little things, you know? We had his party at my mom's place. She insisted. "It'll be nice to have everyone under one roof," she'd said, beaming. Man, that word, family, in my world, it always came with strings. You just couldn't see them until they were cinched so tight you couldn't breathe. The living room was a whirlwind of balloons and paper plates, with these half-inflated foil numbers drooping sadly to one side. My sister, Kelsey, rolled in about 20 minutes late. Her son Owen, same age as Leo, but 10 times louder, sprinting ahead, snatching the prime spot on the sofa, and peeling a streamer off the wall while Kelsey pretended to be oblivious. Then, Mom floated in from the hallway, clutching this glossy blue box with a silver bow. That smile she uses? The one that screams, "Audience present?" Yeah, that one. "Let's do presents," she clapped, her voice a little too bright. Leo, bless his heart, stood there, all flushed cheeks, like he'd rehearsed his "thank you, Grandma" 100 times. He's such a good kid. Way too good for what happened next. Mom looked at him, then over at Owen, and her mouth just tightened. "Only well-behaved kids deserve gifts," she said, soft but razor-sharp. It was meant to sting without causing a scene, and it hit its mark. Then she turned, completely bypassed Leo, and handed that blue box straight to Owen. "Here, you be careful with it." The room just died. It went quiet in that heavy, ringing in your ears kind of way. Kelsey offered a weak, fake little laugh. "Mom," I started, my voice low. She held up a hand. "Matthew." He talked back earlier. He slammed a door. "I won't reward bad manners." Leo. My son. He just stared at the floor. That hurt more than anything. No argument, no tears. He just shrunk. Got small. I put on a smile, the kind that locks your jaw, the kind that's not real. I cut the cake. Poured the soda. Played nice with the relatives who always remind me how handy I am. "You should take a look at my porch sometime," they'd say. I didn't make a scene. I never do. On the drive home, Leo watched the streetlights flicker past the window. "Is Grandma mad at me?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. "No, buddy," I said, my grip tight on the steering wheel. "She just forgot who pays her mortgage." He frowned. "What?" "Nothing," I quickly corrected. "We'll talk later." We got home. I took out the trash. Put the leftover pizza in the fridge. Then I stood at the sink, just staring at my hands, cracked from the cold, nicked from old screws, that shiny crescent scar from where a drill slipped last month. I just stood there. A few days later, the mortgage payment was due again, and my phone lit up like a Christmas tree on fire. 102 missed calls by noon. "Call me now." Matthew, answer. "You can't be serious." The group chat was pinging like a smoke alarm. I wiped my hands on a shop towel, took a deep breath, and picked it up. That was the first time I said no out loud. You know, people talk about boundaries like they're some trendy new hobby, like crochet or pickleball. For me, they'd been a tab I kept promising to close after just one more click. It started years ago. My dad left when I was 19. No big speech, no note, just a quiet garage and an empty space on the pegboard where his favorite wrench used to hang. Mom cried in the kitchen for a month straight, then she switched to being angry at the world. There was a mortgage, a roof that leaked every spring. And me. I fixed both, one with a tarp and a ladder, the other with overtime and cheap meals. I moved out eventually, but never far. I was always the one with the tools, the truck, the "can you swing by?" that inevitably turned into 3 hours of unpaid labor. "You're so good at this stuff," Mom would coo, handing me a cold coffee after I was already halfway up the roof. It was a compliment, yeah, but it was also currency. When Kelsey got pregnant young and the boyfriend bailed, who built the crib out of pine? Me. When she decided Owen needed a private school for structure, guess who picked up the registration fee? Just this once, she'd promised. When Mom's water heater died, I hauled a new one up the basement stairs alone, leaving bruises on my arms that looked like a road map for a week. I didn't mind. Not at first. It felt like I was doing the right thing, being a good son, a good brother. But then it started feeling like my job. And then, worse, it felt like it was my fault if I ever said I was tired. Money was always that quiet, third person at our family table. Mom worked front desk at a dentist's office for years, then her hours got cut. Kelsey bounced between salon gigs and online courses. Me? I built my handyman business from word of mouth and long, grueling Saturdays. I wasn't rich, but I was steady. And in my family, steady gets noticed the way a full fridge does. Useful. Assumed. Invisible. 3 years ago, Mom fell behind on the mortgage. A car repair and a dental bill hit in the same week. She called me crying. "They'll take the house," she wailed. "This is where you kids grew up." "I'll help," I said. Without thinking, I set up autopay from my account to cover the difference. I told myself it was temporary. She told me she'd pay me back. She never did. We never spoke about it again, except when her tone got sickeningly sweet. My lifesaver, she'd chirp, if I changed a light bulb, like the bulb and the whole damn house were the same thing. Kelsey got used to it faster than Mom. "You're doing amazing," she'd tell me, then immediately send a Zelle request for Owen's camp deposit, complete with 3 heart emojis. If I pushed back, she'd go quiet for a day, then send a voice note. "I just thought you, of all people, would understand how hard it is." The group chat? That was a whole other circus. Mom's constant updates. Kelsey's selfies. Distant relatives chiming in with, "Proud of this family." If I didn't answer immediately, Mom would text me separately, "Is everything okay with you? You've been distant." Distant, of course, meaning not paying for something yet. Last winter, when business dipped, I told Mom I might have to reduce what I covered for a month. She didn't ask if I was okay. Instead, she said, "Well, I hope you're not being dramatic. Your sister's relying on you too." "Relying on me for what?" I asked. "Just things," she said vaguely. "She has a lot on her plate. Be generous." "Who's generous to me?" I muttered under my breath. I didn't say it loud enough for her to hear. There were so many little cuts that added up. Like the time I replaced Mom's back door, and she told everyone at Easter that Uncle Tim had helped her get it done because he'd lent her his tape measure 12 years ago. Or when I got Leo a new bike and Kelsey sniffed, "Must be nice," then asked if I could cover Owen's soccer fees again because it's unfair if only one cousin gets to do things. I tried to keep the peace. I swallowed a lot. I kept counting the months until the mortgage might be small enough to finally hand back to her. Then came Leo's 10th birthday. The blue box. The bow. And Mom's voice, "Only well-behaved kids deserve gifts." Here's the part that really matters. Leo didn't slam a door. He closed it. Because Owen kept following him into the bathroom and flipping the light off. Leo said, "Stop," and shut the door. That was it. Mom decided it was a disrespect plot. After the party, my phone buzzed. A text from Mom, "We need to talk about Leo's attitude." Then Kelsey, "You know, Owen didn't mean anything. He's just spirited. Maybe Leo could be more flexible. Flexible like my knees when I'm crawling under a sink. Flexible like my bank account when there's a pinch." I didn't answer that night. Instead, I sat at my kitchen table, staring at the stack of transfer confirmations I'd saved. Because I'm not stupid. Every mortgage payment, every school fee, every Zelle request with a heart emoji. I added them up with one of Leo's stubby pencils. The number made my jaw click shut. I stared at it and thought about the way Mom's eyes just slid past Leo when he blew out his candles. Then the little, greasy things started showing up. I noticed fresh scratches on my van's lock, the kind someone makes when they try the wrong key. I found my spare cordless drill in Kelsey's trunk when she asked me to help her move a dresser and the back popped open. Oh, I meant to ask, she said. She hadn't meant to ask. It would have just lived there until I went looking. And Mom? She posted a photo of Owen in that blue hoodie, with the caption, "My good boy." No mention of Leo. Nothing about his day. In the comments, Aunt Carol wrote, "Grandma knows best." I put my phone face down, stared at the ceiling, wishing it could explain why a person lets themselves be treated like a walking debit card with a toolbox. Payday came around. My auto-pay reminder for Mom's mortgage popped up. I clicked pause. It felt like removing a splinter. Sharp. Then clean. An hour later, Mom texted, "Everything's still set for the 15th?" I put the phone in my pocket and went to install a mail slot for Mrs. Diaz. It was cold out, the kind that makes your breath look like you're telling secrets. I finished, took the cash, and wrote a receipt on a piece of cardboard because my printer's always out of ink. That night, I told Leo what I should have told him a long time ago, in words he could finally hold on to. "You didn't do anything wrong, bud. Grown-ups can be wrong and loud at the same time." He nodded. "Are we not going to Grandma's anymore?" "We'll see," I said. "But we are going to the park Saturday and you're picking the pizza toppings." He smiled. Small at first, then bigger. It felt like someone finally turned the light on in a room I'd been working in. When mortgage day hit, the calls started. First one, then 5, then 20. Mom. Kelsey. Unknown numbers that were probably Mom, calling from the office phone, the neighbor's landline, a borrowed cell, anything to get through. I set my phone on the workbench and kept sanding. Sawdust drifted down like little gold flakes. The phone vibrated until it slid against a screw and thunked to a stop. I let the calls pile up until the number looked fake. 102. Then I picked up. "Matthew." Mom's voice landed hard, all brittle sugar. "Why is the mortgage payment missing?" I paused it. "You what?" It wasn't confusion. It was disbelief that I had the nerve to do anything but comply. I paused my portion, I clarified. "I'm not paying it this month. Or next month." There was a silence that felt like a storm backing up on the highway. "You can't just," she exhaled sharply. "Do you want me to lose the house? Your childhood home? Are you punishing me because I disciplined your son? Is that what this is?" "It's because I've been paying your mortgage for 3 years," I said, my voice calm, like I was reading instructions. "It's because you handed my kid's birthday gift to another child and said he didn't deserve presents. It's because I'm not an ATM." "You're being dramatic," she snapped. "You know I'll pay you back when things settle. This is temporary." I glanced at the spreadsheet open on my kitchen counter. "You've said temporary 38 times. You're keeping score now," she scoffed. "Wow. I've always kept score," I said. "I just didn't show you the scoreboard." She switched tactics. "What about your sister? She relies on your help for Owen's school. He needs stability." "Leo needs stability," I countered. "He needs to know his dad will stand up for him." "So, you're going to let your mother sink because your feelings are hurt?" I didn't raise my voice. "No. I'm going to let adults handle their own bills." From the background, I heard Kelsey's voice. Put him on speaker. "Matthew," she said brightly, "the way you talk to a customer you're about to upsell. Let's not make this ugly. Owen's tuition is due. Mom's mortgage is due. You've always helped. What changed?" "I watched my son get smaller in your mother's living room," I said. "That changed." "Oh my God," she laughed, like a person who laughs at the wrong part of a movie. "This is about a hoodie? You're going to blow up the family over a hoodie." "This is about respect," I said, "and money. And how the two have to live in the same house." Kelsey huffed. "If you're trying to punish us, it won't work. We'll figure it out." "Good," I said. "Figure it out." Mom came back on, her voice lower now. "You're going to regret this. When they put a notice on my door, the neighbors will see. You'll be the one who made that happen." "Mom," I said, gently. "The bank puts the notice on the door. Not me." "Are you proud of yourself?" she asked. "Because I hope this is worth it." I looked at Leo's science project, a cardboard volcano, drying on the counter, red paint pooling at the base. He'd been worried it wouldn't erupt on cue. We'd tested it 3 times until it worked every single time. "I am," I said. "I'm proud I'm finally doing the right thing." "Matthew," she said, her voice cracking back into anger. "After everything I've done for you." I honestly tried to think of what she meant. I waited, gave her space to say it. She didn't. Just breathing. Just the sound of Kelsey whispering, "He's lost it." I ended the call. Then I typed into the family group chat. Effective today, I'm out of the bank of Matthew business. Mortgage, tuition, fees? Not my responsibility. Attached is a summary of what I've covered since 2022. Going forward, please do not ask me for money, tools, or my time without offering payment and a schedule. Also, do not disrespect my kid in front of me again. If you do, we leave. That's the boundary. I attached the spreadsheet. Dates. Amounts. Notes. Blue Hoodie Day wasn't on the list, but it was the headline in my head. The explosion was immediate. Aunt Carol, family doesn't keep receipts. Cousin Drew, this is tacky. Mom, delete that now. Kelsey, you're sick. You need therapy. Leo wandered into the kitchen, rubbing sleep out of his eyes. Morning, he mumbled. I put the phone down and poured him cereal. It pinged through breakfast, through dishes, through a sink repair across town where the client kept apologizing for calling me on short notice. You're fine, I told her, and I meant it. It felt good to help someone who said thank you like it was an actual word, not a leash. At lunch, my phone rang again. Unknown number. I wouldn't have answered if I'd known it was the bank. A calm woman with a calm voice informed me the mortgage was 30 days behind already, even before my part. Mom had told me it was only a few days late. The calm woman mentioned foreclosure timeline options and cosigner. I'm not on the loan, I stated. No, she said, but your name is on the payment history. We assume. Assume less, I said, and wrote down the dates anyway. Facts are armor when people throw feelings at your head like rocks. That evening, Mom called again. They said they're coming to post a notice next week, she said, not crying, but definitely performing it. You want me humiliated? I want you to call the bank and work out a plan, I said. Sell the second car. Ask Kelsey to pick up extra shifts. Stop buying $80 salon shampoo. You have no right, she snapped. I have receipts, I said, and hung up. The first week after I stopped paying, the house was louder and somehow lighter. It's amazing how quiet a phone can be when you don't answer. I changed how I used mine. Do not disturb for everyone but Leo's school and my clients. The group chat became a fish tank I didn't feed. I watched it when I felt petty. Mostly I didn't. I half expected someone to show up at my door. They didn't. Instead, they tried other angles. Aunt Carol texted, "Your mother is in pieces." I typed, "She's an adult," and erased it. I wrote, "I hope she calls the bank," and sent that instead. She replied with a prayer hands emoji and a paragraph about forgiveness. I muted the thread. Kelsey started posting quotes about toxic people, the kind with watercolor backgrounds and curly fonts. One said, "Sometimes the takers call you selfish when you stop giving." I laughed out loud. It felt good in my chest, like coughing when you've needed to for an hour. Then the practical stuff started to shift. I locked my van and moved the spare key. I put a simple camera on my front porch because I was done wondering who touched my tools. I told 2 clients who always forgot their wallet that I now accept payment up front for materials. They paid. They always had the money. They just liked the bargain of my patience. With Mom, I was polite and short. If she texted a normal thing, "How's Leo?" I answered. If she slipped even one guilt barb into a message, "I guess you're too busy for your mother," I put the phone down and took Leo to the park. We built new routines. Friday became make your own pizza night. He shredded cheese and arranged pepperoni like constellations. We watched dumb shows, and he narrated the commercials in a British accent for some reason. On Sundays, we did Project Hour. He picked what we fixed. A wobbly chair, a sticky drawer, a skateboard with wheels that sounded like a shopping cart. I taught him the difference between a Phillips and a flathead. He taught me that if you lean your head against the couch arm just so, it's actually pretty comfortable. News traveled without me helping it. Mom called fewer times but posted more. Long, rambling posts. It breaks a mother's heart when a child turns away. People she hadn't seen in years commented with hearts. Neighbors asked passive questions when I parked on her street to fix Mrs. Diaz's fence. "Everything okay with your mom?" "She's figuring things out," I'd say, and leave it at that. 2 weeks in, Jess, an old friend who cuts my hair in her kitchen to save me a few bucks, texted, "Your sister called me to put a color service on your tab." I sat on the edge of the tub and stared at the message. "What did you do?" I asked. "I laughed," she wrote, and said, "I don't have a tab. And even if I did, it would have your name on it, not family. Thank you," I typed. "Boundaries look good on you," she replied. The notice went up on Mom's door on a Tuesday. Yellow paper, black type, taped in a way that would rip the paint when it came off. I know, because she sent a photo to the group chat with the caption, "Thanks, Matthew." I didn't answer. Cousin Drew, cold. Aunt Carol, unbelievable. A neighbor I barely knew posted a crying face emoji, and "Here if you need anything, sweetie." Kelsey DM'd me separately, "Take it down or I will." I didn't go over. I didn't touch it. I went to Leo's parent-teacher conference instead and listened to his teacher talk about how he helps another kid with reading without making him feel bad. I watched Leo swing his legs under a too-small chair and thought, yeah, this is the house that matters. That Friday night, Kelsey finally called from a number I didn't recognize. I picked up because I was tired of jumping when the phone rang. "What do you want?" she snapped. "Not hello. It says blocked on my end," I said. "So we're already in a mood." "You did this to Mom," she accused. "She's sick over it. She can't sleep. Her blood pressure is up. She can also call the bank," I stated. "She can't afford the payment without you." "She couldn't afford it with me either," I said. "She just postponed the crisis." "You're so cruel." "I changed a policy," I said. "That's not cruelty. That's adulthood." She tried another direction. "You know what Owen asked me today? He asked why Uncle Matthew doesn't love Grandma anymore." My stomach flipped. I let the silence sit there, heavy. "You taught him that," I finally said. "When you use love as a tool." Kelsey scoffed. "We're done here," she said, and hung up. We weren't. Not really. A week later, she texted, "Can you at least fix the railing on Mom's porch? It's unsafe." I stared at that one for a while. "Send me a time and I'll bill you for materials and labor," I wrote back. She replied with a photo of a middle finger made of emojis. I muted her, too. Then, something unexpected happened. Mom called me on a Sunday afternoon. Her voice was small. "I talked to the bank," she said. "They can do a trial plan. It's still a lot." "That's good," I said. "It's a start. A beat." "I sold the Honda," she added. "I didn't want to, but the insurance was killing me. I can manage with my coworker driving me twice a week." "We'll see." "That's smart," I said, and I meant it. She cleared her throat. "There's something else. The other day, Owen took Leo's hat and wouldn't give it back." Kelsey laughed. Leo looked. I saw his face. "I told Owen to return it. He threw it. I made him pick it up and say sorry." I pictured my mother's hallway. I pictured her hand on a kid's shoulder. I pictured her looking at a boy who isn't mine and seeing the boy she'd made small last month. "Thank you," I said. "I'm not apologizing for the birthday," she said quickly. He slammed the door. "He closed the door," I corrected. "And we're not doing this again." A long exhale. "Fine." Then, almost so quiet I missed it, "He's a good boy." "Yeah," I said. "He is." That night, Leo and I made pizza. He arranged pepperoni to spell 10 in the middle. He laughed at his own joke like it was the first time anyone had done numbers with meat. It was, at least, in our kitchen. 2 more weeks passed. The group chat cooled. The passive-aggressive quotes dried up. The prayer hands moved on to someone's sprained ankle. The yellow paper came off Mom's door. In its place, a new, smaller note, taped from the inside, "Please use side entrance." It made me smile for a dumb reason. Mom choosing a way forward, even if it was sideways. Work got busier. A client referred me to a property manager who liked that I actually answered with a time window and showed up at the start of it. I raised my rates $10 an hour. No one blinked. I bought Leo a winter coat that actually fit his arms and didn't make him look like a marshmallow. When I paid at the register, I didn't think about who else needed money. I thought about how he'd wear it to the park and zip it to his chin. One night, late, I got a text from an unknown number. "I'm Kelsey's friend. Just so you know, she's been telling everyone you cut her off because she wouldn't lend you money. People are starting to see through it. She borrowed from two of us and never paid back. You're not crazy. I stared at the ceiling. I didn't need the validation, but it landed in a soft place anyway. Not crazy. Just done. The next morning, Mom sent a photo. It was Leo and Owen on her couch, each with a bowl of popcorn. Leo's hat was on his head. Owen's elbow was far away from Leo's arm. The caption said, "Movie night." No pointed comments. No quotes. Just two kids, one frame. I kept it. The line still echoes in my head sometimes. Only well-behaved kids deserve gifts. Usually when I'm in a hardware aisle, minding my business. Then I see Leo at the park yelling, "Dad, watch." And my jaw unclenches. Do I feel guilty? Sometimes. A little. But I've got space now. In my wallet, my calendar, and most importantly, my head. I fix my own stuff. I sit on the floor and build with Leo, my phone face down. If something falls, we rebuild. Mom, and I keep it short. No money talk. She asks about work. I pass along hellos. If a guilt hook shows up, I just let it drop. Kelsey and I are polite. Sometimes she sends a photo of the boys. I hit heart and move on. I kept the spreadsheet in a folder labeled Old Business. When that little voice says I overreacted, I look at the numbers and think no. I waited too long. The point is simple. I won't bankroll my own disrespect. I won't teach my kid that love equals swallowing anything. His self-worth isn't for trade. On Leo's real birthday, we walked, just us. Are we still going to Grandma's sometimes? He asked. Sometimes, I said. When it feels good. He nodded. Okay. The next day, a small package came. No bow. A hoodie in his favorite color. The note said, "For the good boy." No speech. Just right. We hit the park. Dad, watch. I'm watching, I said. And I was. Bills and feelings? They'll keep coming. My answer stays steady. I help when there's respect. No is a full sentence. I love you isn't a coupon. If anyone forgets who pays for their roof, literal or not, I point to my door. It hangs level. The latch clicks. The house smells like Friday pizza and Sunday sawdust. And a kid inside knows he deserves gifts because he's loved, not because he performs.